What can be done about London streets and the way that they're policed?
I think we need to look more forward in relation to signalling and what the community really wants, which is a real conversation with the Met Police as to what issues they want to identify, rather than the issues that have been raised today by Rawley in relation to the points that he wants to raise. But the community wants a conversation with him. What are the issues that they need policing on, rather than what the police think they need policing on?
But surely the whole point of the police is to protect us and stop us from being murdered and being victims of crime. Is that not the job of the police?
Yes, it is, but how are we going to do that? So,
police officers on the streets?
Police officers on the streets, community policing, which is something that Rawley has said he wants to bring back, which is very good. But I think we need to go deeper and find out how to do this. Use the ears and eyes on the ground of the community to see how we're going to achieve a reduction in crime. So work with the community rather than always preaching to the community.
Norman?
It's basics. So Robert Peel, what he said when he actually founded the British Police Service, he said, I want to see officers on the beat, interact with the public, meet shopkeepers, meet victims, attend the calls when the public call you. When you attend, you take a statement, you reassure the community, you take the bad guys off of the streets, put them before the courts. That is the ethos and the basic of policing. Now, no disrespect to the public and victims, they don't really need to tell us at this stage, after 180 years of policing, we know what they want. They want exactly what I have just said. They actually want to be reassured. They want to see a visible presence of a police officer on the streets and on the roads and in their homes when they're victims of burglary, assault or any other crimes. We've heard the public. What the public haven't seen are police officers. We know what they want, and we can only give them what they want is when we're there interacting, reassuring them and regaining a lost confidence, which we appear to have done over the past decade or two.
Well, exactly. I mean, I'm empathetic to and sympathetic to that position because I've fought a burglar in my own home who I caught on CCTV, and the police said there wasn't enough. CPS said there wasn't enough evidence to charge him, even though I had a big, nice 10x8 of his face. So let me just draw in. You had sort of, I sensed a mild scoff to what Norman was saying. Expand on this idea of the community and the police and the relationship between them, because it isn't what Norman's saying, which is like, do your job, mate, what's written on the tin, without fear, without favour, and get public trust. Surely that should be top of the list of what the police should do. What nuance are you trying to push into that I'm not getting? Because
obviously, if the police knew how to police, we wouldn't have this issue at the moment. We wouldn't be talking about lack of trust and confidence in the police. So what we have is against a defensive nature. Rawley was not defensive this morning. He's understood that clearly that does not work. We have to have a collaborative approach with the communities, all of the communities.
But doesn't that break the relationship? I mean, I know it's of the people.
Yeah.
You know, the police are the people.
Yeah.
So it already is a collaborative approach. When the police end up in a situation, something bad has happened, usually. So what you then do is you hand over to the police to deal with that problem. Yeah. I mean, are you reassured, Norman? Are you reassured about this commitment to get rid of these so-called symbolic gestures of, you know, taking the knee and the two-tier policing that we've seen under this, certainly in London, under this dreadful Mayor Sadiq Khan, in my view? Or would you like to see more diversity and communication at the top of the police force?
One of the biggest mistakes the British Police Service made, and when I say the British Police Service, a small number, was gesturing to Black Lives Matter on their knees. I was stunned, I was shocked, and so was the whole police service. Also, I don't want to see police officers, when on duty, painting their faces in multicolours. I don't want them disfiguring police cars in multicolours. And the public and the victims don't want to see that, and the majority of the police service don't want to see that. What they want to see is police officers wearing the same uniform, with the same oath, protecting and reassuring all of our communities. I just want to cover a little point there about why you don't see the police on the streets anymore. About 10, 11 years ago, this government under Theresa May reduced the police service by 22,000 frontline police officers, tens of thousands of backroom staff. So the few remaining officers had to do more with less and backfill some of the civilian staff. And as a result of that, police were taken off of the streets. The public didn't see the police. The victims weren't attended when they made their calls. And as a result of that, the police have been blamed. They go from one emergency call to the next, to the next, to the next. And they cannot investigate all of the crimes that if we had the extra 20,000 police officers, we could have done. That is why there has been a gulf. I can assure you this, that police officers cannot wait to answer a 999 call. They don't join the police to persecute young black men or to stop motorists that are speeding. That's a tiny part of the job. They join as a team to make society safer, to engage with the public. That is the ethos of why police officers join. If they can't do that, the police are not doing the job that they're paid to do. And senior management, including Mark Rowley, must listen to the public, listen to his front officers, ensure that his sergeants, inspectors and chief inspectors are actually doing their job of supervising. Too many of them, Lawrence, are actually more interested in their own high-ranking career, that many of them are detached from what the public want, they're detached from what victims want, and they're detached as concerningly from their frontline officers because of their own obsession of promotion.
Right,
and
Sophie,
they're the ones that need addressing.
Sophie, you've got one demand to make of the new head of the Metropolitan Police, and you've got a minute to make it. What do you want to say? I
would say talk to everybody, not just to the frontline police officers, not just to the senior leadership team. Talk to everybody who is affected by policing.
Talk to everybody. You can't talk to everybody.
Well, there are, certain groups that you need to speak to.
Sorry, what are certain groups?
Well, certain groups, Afro-Caribbean communities, would need to be spoken to.
Why would they need to be spoken to ahead of any other community?
Because the issues that we have around policing really affect them first rather than others.
What, in terms of knife crime?
In relation to stop and search as well, in relation to how police is dealt with when there's a call for 999 or a missing person.
But I need to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I said, you got your minute with Mr. Rowley. What do you want? It's like talk. Talk is great, but we don't pay our tax for people to talk. What we pay our tax is for crime to be solved, investigated and solved. You can't talk to someone about stop and search. You can go, excuse me, I'm going to stop and search you because my view is that every single child in London or young person in London up to the age of 18 should expect to be stopped and searched by a police officer at some point in their life. So they know what the consequences of carrying a knife are. The talking is great, but what do we do? Norman has provided a solution. Get more police on the streets. Engage with the communities that way. They can talk when they're on the street, right? But if you're just saying, let's just all talk to everybody all the time, that's why we're in such a mess in the first place, I would posit.
No, because the police never spoke to anybody. They based their policies and procedures around what they thought was policing. We moved forward from where we were 8 years ago, 80 years ago. We're not there anymore. The majority of London is now ethnic minority, I believe.
Can I come back with one final point, please?
I think the man in my ear is telling me.
I think it's about maybe even 55%.
Sophia, these black communities need to speak to each other. They need to engage with each other rather than blaming the police for their own problems. Sorry, Lawrence.
But I don't think we can. I feel like we're slightly ganging up on you. So I don't think that's...
I'm just trying to refresh her where policing comes from.
No,
and what we care about.
I think you've made your point really well, and I think you've made your point.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry if I've ganged up
Not
on
at all.
you in any way. That is Norman Brennan and Sophie Khan. Thank you.